Hey folks, so it's Roland with Delmi Solutions and Delmi Training Institute. And just before Christmas, guess what happened? We got invited here to Transglobal Systems of Canada, TSOC, here in Mississauga. The reason why we're here today is to showcase some of the products that TSOC have, and they've been glad enough to donate some to Delmi Training Institute that we have in our lab that we're showcasing to our students. And I'm not going to be talking about all these, but I'm going to let the expert talk about this and many more that we're going to be talking about. So I'm here with Imran, and he's the president of TSOC, and you have some new products. Thank you. The students really loved what you gave us that we use in class, because now they get to not only see firsthand the device, but how the applications are also going to be. So would you mind showcasing what you have?
Absolutely. Thank you, Roland, for first inviting me to the Delmi Institute.
Right.
I learned so much about how students are learning about network cabling and some of the smart technologies that are being deployed in those smart spaces. You know, I think it's really important that our next generation embrace these skilled trades, because there's less and less people going into using their hands, more and more people wanting to use technology. And there's certainly a void and a gap that needs to be filled. And I believe the Delmi Institute is doing an excellent job at training our next generation professionals in the IT space that are going to be using their hands. And so when we were there at the Delmi Institute, I had the privilege of meeting some of the students, as well as talking about our latest innovation called Smart Connect. It's a modular cabling solution that is factory terminated, tested, labeled, and then shipped to site in a kit and ready for plug and play deployment. And so inviting you here today was just a continuation of the conversation we started, and we're so excited to be partnering with Delmi Institute and Delmi Solutions.
So tell me, how long has TSOC been in business?
Well, listen, my father, who is the founder of TSOC, he's an engineer, and he, in 1983, had this vision. He said, everyone is going to need a telephone, so we should be in the telecom business. And so we started by supplying the cables and connectors and tools to the installers. And fast forward 41 years, we find ourselves in the connectivity space. And over the decades, we've seen the convergence of voice, data, video, security, audio, visual. And so we realized that space was becoming very sophisticated. And so we needed a sophisticated yet simple solution to be able to, bring all of those smart technology solutions to the client. And so that gave us an opportunity to reflect on how we could build something that would help installers and also make the user experience by the client more enhanced.
Okay, amazing. So what I see here is our 24-port unloaded or modular patch panel, and we have so the Smart Connect system. Consists of a 24-port patch panel, which is obviously unloaded, and you can, at the time of ordering, you can order it at the specific color codes.
Correct.
And you can use your blues for your data, white for voice, etc., etc. And then if you want to pretty much have one section of your network not disturbed, and you always have a space that you're going to constantly transform, this is where the Smart Connects come to play. So you have your permanent trunk that is going from your server room all the way to the consolidation point, which is this. And I love the fact that you can angle it the way you want. So based on how you mount it, it's adaptability. You can just adjust it and this snaps back in wherever it locks in. You can slide it and the pin just drops right in, as you saw it, into the place. So there's no stress on the cables, and you can just change that. And one thing I also noticed was that the face plates were also numbered and labeled with the same color code. So is this all done in-house?
So all of the assembly, all of the terminations, all of the testing, and the certification is done right in-house here in Mississauga. And therefore, it eliminates any of the termination testing and troubleshooting on site, because we're doing it right here in the factory. And so we've got an opportunity to take the cables, bundle them, label them, test them, and then put them onto a reel. And you'll see that there's a reel that we use that's reusable. And once you put the cabling bundles onto those reels, you can take it to a site and then easily deploy 6 cable bundles at a time. And the one thing I must note is that on each patch panel, consolidation point, and work area outlet, all of the keystone inserts are dual couplings. You just plug in both sides. There's absolutely no termination required.
So I think one of the challenges that I know most of the techs out there are going to say, wait a second, how do you want us to pull cables with connectors on it through the drywall ceiling, through the ceiling space? But I thought the last time I spoke with you, you said there's a solution for it. Techs don't have to even worry about damaging this. What is the solution to it?
Solution's very simple. Thank you, Norm. What we have here is a pull TSOC. So we can put this braided cover with a tension relief here, so that you're not actually pulling on the cable itself. You're dispersing the stress of the cable onto the bundle, and then when you're pulling using the kit, the eye, then you're able to pull it through a conduit. Now, we all know that cable should really be laid in a cable tray or in a J-hook, but sometimes you may be on a site where you need to pull it through a conduit, and so this would be the solution.
So folks, for most of the techs out there who are wondering, why do I have to buy a cable that is already pre-terminated? Well, first of all, you save on installation, you save on testing, you save on labeling, you save on all that we go through. Recently, there was one of the videos that I did post on our thing where I spent hours upon hours, and this is any technician's worst nightmare. So having a solution that is pre-terminated, tested and labeled and delivered to you on the site, ready for plug and play. And with the pull TSOC, you said that's what it's called, right?
Yes,
pull
sir.
TSOC, you just have to fit it onto the already terminated ones, and it's ready to be deployed. You just have to hook up your string in here, and it's just going to go as smoothly as possible. Imran, tell me, with these modular ones from the consolidation point to the user end, I guess, can you tell me, are you using solid strand cables from end to end, or these ones happen to be stranded cables?
Excellent question, Roland. So from the patch panel, the bundled trunk cable assembly to the consolidation point is a solid cable.
Yeah.
And then from the consolidation point, these cable whips right out to the work area outlet will continue to be solid cable. So you'll have an end-to-end solution with a consolidation point made of solid cable. And of course, it will be industry compliant. It will meet all of the performance standards.
And finally, they come in different categories, right? You can make them in different categories, including shielded.
Correct.
And I noticed that your patch panel already has the shielding in it.
It does.
So with all the modular panels that you guys push out, are they all the same, or we have you selling those ones that are non-shielded versus shielded, or everything else is the same and can be used interchangeably?
So the solution is very simple. We only make a 24-port 1U patch panel plate, which will accept shielded modules, and then the consolidation point will be the same, and work area outlets will be the same. So what you see here will minimize your inventory. So you're not having to stock 24, 48, 72, 96 port panels. There'll be multiples of 24 port single 1U patch panels, and whatever multitude of your consolidation points and work area outlets. And by the way, folks, the consolidation points come in white or black, depending on if you're in an open ceiling and it's exposed and you need to be able to see visually the cabling. We make it in both white and black. And then of course the wall plates come ivory, white, black, and if there's other requirements, TSOC is happy to work with you on that.
Okay. One thing I also noticed was that the consolidation point comes in 6 ports.
Correct.
Is there a specific reason why you're making them in 6 ports?
So the cable bundles come in 6s. Our patch panel is broken out into 4 sections of 6.
Right.
And the maximum number of ports you can put on a single gang outlet is 6. So it made sense, it was logical to make the cable bundle 6, to make wall plate to match your patch panel. And it was just really, from an installer's perspective, it's less cumbersome to pull 6 cables than it would be to pull 12 or 24 at a time. Because you can imagine if you had 24 cable bundles, how much strength and how much stress there would be on the cable itself, let alone the weight. So we want to make sure that we're not putting any more than 90 meters on a reel, that each one of those cable bundles is wrapped properly using Kevlar, which is a very high strength material that keeps those cable bundles together, and that when we are putting it onto a reel, that it can easily glide off that reel, putting the least amount of tension on the cable itself.
And you also did make mention of the fact now that PoE is very dominant in most of the spaces that we're using, having cables in bundles of 24 and running PoE could just increase the heat within them. So by having them in bundles of 6, you're able to dissipate the heat even better.
Dissipate the heat as well as prevent near-end crosstalk, right? We want to make sure that we're not creating an antenna. If you put too many bundles together, that may end up happening. And we can use Cat 5e cable, which is obviously, you know, a legacy standard, but Cat 6 as well as Cat 6a.
So you can order them in any configuration that you want. Any specific color that you want,
yes,
you can make them. And one more thing before we wrap up, I also saw that we were talking about this, this angled one. This is the new one you guys have.
So this is an innovation that we developed as a result of conversations we're having with clients who said, you know, we may not have the room for a rack, let alone the need for a full 24 port patch panel. What if we have a smaller fit out where we only need 12 ports? So, you know, we went back to the drawing board, and through our production and engineering department, we came up with a 12-port vertical patch panel that has a mounting kit already. So now on the back of a plywood backboard, you can simply mount the patch panel. So in a small business environment and a small, medium size, and even enterprise environment, we're ready now with a turnkey solution that pretty much answers most of the requirements needed by a client.
And obviously this can fit in 3 configurations, so it can either be straight or angled, up or angled down. Amazing. Do they come in 24 configurations or maximum is 12?
So again, vertical 12, horizontal 24. And you know, the applications for these solutions are really vast. I mean, if you think about franchise businesses that really need that repeatability and that, you know, consistency from location to location, Smart Connect provides you that reliability and that consistency, which is so required, you know, having that brand recognition and consistency. And it really makes that deployment simplified and, as you said earlier, saves on time.
Now, let's talk about certification. So guys might be worried about, okay, now when I get this, do I have to recertify them before I give them to the client? How does that work?
That's a great question, Roland. And what we're using in-house here at TSOC is the de facto standard Fluke DSX analyzer. It's the same test equipment that's used in the field by professionals who are going to certify the network. So to answer your question, it's going to be factory certified here, and once you ship it to site and it gets deployed, you may want to validate it using the same equipment on site. That being said, when TSOC does its terminations testing, we provide the test report within the kit when we ship it to site. So therefore, you're handing over that document along with a document you may want to validate on site using your own test equipment, and then providing that documentation to the client.
Good. So now let's talk about warranty.
Yes.
So I know there are other brands out there who are certifying their cable for 25, 20 years, etc.
Yes.
Should that be a concern to those of us who are going to be deploying it outside?
Absolutely not. TSOC is backing our product with a 40-year warranty.
40-year warranty?
Yes, sir. We've just surpassed our 40-year anniversary, so we feel quite confident that we can put our 40 years of experience behind this product. We're a Canadian brand. The product is manufactured right here in Mississauga, Ontario, and we're in it for the long haul. And we're here to partner with Delmi Institute, Delmi Solutions, to make sure that clients get the most innovative offering that's available in the market.
So now let's say, do you buy direct or you buy through distribution?
So we're going to make the product available only through distribution channels, right? So once we have developed the training through Delmi Institute and then authorized Delmi Solutions as the authorized installation partner, we will then make this product available through various wholesale electrical and communications distribution channels from coast to coast to coast. So inventory will always be at your fingertips. And we say that because the patch panels, the wall plates, and the consolidation points are pieces that you can order at random. The trunk cables, we've been giving a lot of reflection to based on conversations with installers. We will develop standard lengths of trunk cables that are pre-terminated, tested, labeled, and put into a kit ready for rapid deployment. So the standard lengths could be 50 feet, 75 feet, 100 feet, and anything beyond 100 feet could be bespoke. So if you needed 125 or 175, we would custom make that. That would reduce the amount of lead time required to be able to order the product and have it deployed.
No, so folks, here you have it. I think this Smart Connect solution, it's a great addition to what we already have in terms of cable installation. It makes deployment very easy. So thank you so much, Imran, for inviting us over and for talking about the Smart Connect solution. I think it's a game changer. And for those of you who are looking for a solution that can fit into some of your installs, TSOC has the solutions, and you can check out their website, www.tsoc.com, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for having us.
Pleasure was mine.
We'll see you on the next one.
Stay safe.